start with this. I need a little bit more room. I need you to understand what's going on here. So we have a something. Here we go. We have an item. Doesn't matter what it is. And there's a 38% discount. Well, currently you're responsible for all of it. If they give you a 38% discount, let's take 10, 20, 30, and 38% away. You're left with 62%. That's what you're responsible for right now. So this, you still have to pay for. So that's what you have to find out first. So $479.56, which was 100%. You're not paying that anymore. They took 38%, so you're responsible for 62. So let's multiply that by the part that you're responsible for. So you're responsible for 62%. Done. Once you multiply these two, and I'll multiply it. Okay. 479.62 times 0.62, which represents 62%. Your price of your laptop just went down to $297.36 round. Now, you need to forget everything. Okay? This is all gone. Forget everything now that happened in the past. We're going to draw this again. So after your discount, your laptop price dropped. We're going to draw this brand new bar again. And now 100% of the laptop is $297.36. Right? So that's where we are. Now what's happening to your laptop? Well, it was here. The price was here. It dropped, right? That's where we are. So, and that's what I'm representing right now. And what's going to happen to the laptop? It's going to increase by 65%. So over here, we're going to add our increase. So 100%, let's add 65. That takes us to 165%. And that's what we're looking for. So it's 297.36 times, right, 165%. So we want 165% of 297.36. I'm going to change that to a decimal. And we get 297.36 times 1.65, and the price goes back up to 490.64, and that's our final answer. Now, you didn't have to do all these steps. You could have just simply, right from the get-go, do 479.56, right, which is our original price, multiplied by our discount of 38%, which left with 0.62. And then multiply that by our increase, 1.65. And that would have taken you straight to the answer. You didn't have to do it in parts. Okay, so next question. Larry, Curly, and Mo. I wonder how many of you actually know who they are. So Larry collects 25 more than Mo. Curly collects 35 more than Larry. And Larry collects 120. That's all the clues that I have. So, 124, by the way. So, let me put Larry, Curly, and Mo. So, what do we know about Larry? Larry collects 124. And that value is 25% more than Mo. So, whatever Mo had, right? Let's call that X. Larry has 25% more than Mo. So Larry, in fact, has 25% more than Mo. So let's say Mo has this much. Okay? Which is 100. Okay, so let's call this Mo. Larry had whatever Mo had plus 25%, which is 120%. So that's what Larry has. So 124 that Larry has, and we know what Larry has. So $124 that Larry has represents is 125% of whatever mole has, and we'll call mole X. And that's the trick here in this question. So we can set up that equation, and we can write 124 equals 1.25 times X. We're going to divide both sides by 125. And X equals 124 divided by 1.25. And X equals 99.2. So I can come back here. And that's how much mole has. $99.02. 20 cents, sorry. Curly is 35 more than Larry. Okay, so Curly, let me erase this. So let's represent what Curly has 35 more than Larry. Do we know what Larry has? Yes. Larry has, let's call it the 0, 100%. So Larry has $124. That's the total amount that Larry has. And Curly has 35% more than Larry. So let me change colors. So Curly has 135% of whatever Larry has. So if we set that as an equation, we need to find this number here, right? Number. That's what Curly has. So 135% of 124 is what number? That's how I'm going to phrase that. So 135 or 1.35 of multiplication 124 equals X. So that's just 1.35 times 124. That's going to give us, so that represents $167.04. $167.04. Okay, and we have all their values. Four, and I think there was a mistake here for number 3 in terms of instead of time, here should be item. So number 3, represent an expression. Write an expression to represent the cost of an item, X, whatever it costs, with a discounted price of 32%. So again, if something discounted at 32%, how much am I left over with? I'm left over with 68%, right? So again, look at the bar. 0%, 100%. If they take away 10, 20, 30, 31, 32%, I'm left with 68%. So to find out what this is that I have to pay for, it would be X times 68%. X times 68% would be 0.68. And that's the expression we're looking for. 4. So again here, instead of excuse me, times item, so write an expression to represent what happens to an item that is discounting 15%, a second discount 25%, and then they charge a tax of 8.8875. So here's the price of the item, right? Y, whatever the price is, we're going to represent by the, after a discount of 15%, I'm left with 85%, right? And then they're gonna, from that, I get my new price. My new price resets everything. I get a new bar, and that represents 100%. And if they take away 25%, I'm left with 75% of the new bar, right? And then I have to pay for taxes. And then remember that taxes is in addition. So if that was your bar and you had your price, this was 100%. We would add the 8%, 8.8875, which would take me to 108.8875%. So I would multiply finally the last value times 1.08875. That would be my expression. So any item, whatever the price is, after a 15% discount, the first discount, second discount, and that represents my tax. You would get your final answer. So let's say I'm just making this up, something you want to buy for $40, right? Went to Macy's, you found a sweater, it's $40. Well, you would multiply 40 times 0.85, your first discount. Then you multiply it by your second discount, 0.75. That's what's left over after your second discount. And then finally you multiply that by 1.08875 to find out your total price. So one discount, two discount, and then adding taxes, you would pay at the registers $27.76. That's not the answer. This is the answer, but I'm just showing what happened. What would happen if you bought something for $40. Okay. Last year, 743 went to summer school. This year, 456 went to summer school. What is the percent change? Well, straightforward, right? Percent change. New minus old over old. The new number is 456 because that's this year. The old number was last year, 743 over 743. You know you're going to get a negative number because it's a decrease, right? So let's do 456 minus 743 equals negative 287, which going to divide by 743. And we're going to get negative 0.38627, right? And if we change that to a percent, it's going to be negative 38.63%. That's the number, right? So there was a decrease in the number of kids going to summer school this year by 38.63%. 7, these questions, guys, I literally took them off from the test. Very, very similar. So Tim buys an old rocking chair at a fair. He fixes it and paints it. He obviously going to sell it, right? So if he sells it, it's going to be a markup of 39%. So let's draw this out. Right now, Tim, this is 100%, and 100% represents $87 at the moment. Right? He fixes it, he makes it look nice, and he wants to make some money, of course, and he's going to add to that price 39%. So if he adds 39%, it's going to be 139. So if I want to find what this price is, it's 139% of 87. So it would be 1.39. I changed that to a decimal times 87. So the price of the rocking chair, 1.39 times 87 equals, so he's going to sell it for 120.93. If they ask you what was the actual markup, right? So 120 is his new selling price minus what he paid for. So how much is he making? Minus 87. So he actually is profiting $33.93. The question didn't ask for it, but I'm showing it to you. Or another way of thinking, or another way of doing this, the long way, is actually you could have multiplied 39% or 0.39 times 87, and you get 33.93. So this would have been his increase, right? That's 39% right there. So this is what this represents, 33.93. His selling price is 120.93. Okay, so it really depends on what the question says. 8. Oh, so continuing. I have the number. The person, so he sells it for 120.93, so 7B, continuing the question. So the person selling his rocking chair, the person buying his rocking chair is going to pay taxes, right? So he bought the chair at the fair. He raised it, right? He painted, he fixed it. Now he put his markup, 39%. That's his price. Now this, somebody says, I actually want to pay for it. And this is probably Canada. And you have to pay a tax of 12.15%. So 120.93, which was the price of the rocking chair, times, so again, remember, what this looks like. Right, so here's 0, here's 100%, and here's what 100% represents. 100% is $120.93. The customer is responsible to paying for all that, plus, unfortunately, we're going to add a little bit more here. 12.15, which takes this to 112.15%, because this, we'll call that tax. All right, so if you just want to find out what you're going to pay at the register, multiply 120.93 times 1.1215. Right, I changed this to a decimal. And 120.93 times 1.1215 equals, and the customer will pay $135.62. Okay, and if you want to know what the actual tax part was, we'll take this and subtract it by that price, and you'll know what the tax is. If you want to do that. 8. What is this? Okay. Again, all these is just applications from now on. Junior high school population was 996 in 2012. In 2013, the population increased by 16%. In 2014, the population increased by another 12%. What was the student population in 2015? So let's draw this out. So right now, this is what 100% of our student body looks like. So in 2013, it increased by 16%. So we're going to add this. That's going to take us to 160%. So we can do this in steps. So we're going to go 986. We need this number over here, right? What's 160% of 986 times 1.16? So 986 times 1.16 is going to take us to 1,143.76, which I'm going to round this to 1144, right? Because we can't have partial. So in 2013, that's my new population. Okay, I need you to now forget everything here. Okay, and start the problem again. So in 2014, at the end of 2014, I'll create a new bar. Now that 100% is 1,144, right? 0. At the end of 2014, what happens? Increased by 12%. So we're going to go this, and from 100, we go to 112%. Now it's 112% of this number here. So we're going to take 1144 times 1.12. So at the end of 2014, 1144 times 1.12, our population, again rounded to 1281.20 something, 8 is going to round to 1282. You can have done it that way, or you could have taken the original number, 986, multiplied by the first increase, which is 116, right, percent. And then you change it to a decimal, it becomes 1.16, times your second increase. And your second increase was 12%, which was 112%, and as a decimal is 1.12. We should get, well, because of the rounding and stuff, you know, so let's see how close we can get. 986 times, notice I rounded twice, times 1.12 equals 1281. Okay, so 1281.01, which, because this is, we're talking about people, has to be rounded to 1282. Get the same exact answer. You pick. If you can understand this, great. If you want to do it in pieces, it's okay too. Eventually, we will get to that. 13. How many questions do we have here? 9. What was the percent of discount? So there's a change, right? After discount. So again, you can use new minus old over original. And this time we want the percent. What was the percent of discount? There's 2 ways you can do this. Use that formula. So we want to find the percent. What's the new price? The price after the discount or the original price? No, it's after the discount because that's the new price, right? There was an original price, you got a discount, and that's the new price. 12.25 minus 18, which was original, divided by 18, and multiply that by 100. So let's do that. 12.25 minus 18 is negative 5.75, right? Remember, the price is going down, so it has to be negative. And we're going to divide that by 18, which gives us 0.3194444 forever. Right? Negative. Change that to percent, it becomes negative 31.94%. So that's one way of doing it. The other way of doing it is formulating a question with this. So 12.25 is what percent of 18? Now, let's see what happens. 12.25 equals x times 18. We're going to divide both sides by 18. We get 12.25 divided by 18. And we're going to get x equals 68.05, sorry, no. Decimal, let me write that as a decimal, 0.680555 forever. If we change that to a percent, x equals 68.06%, right? So this represents 68.06% of 18, correct? Now, we need to subtract that by 100. If I subtract 100%, minus 68.06, we're going to get a number very close to this. So 100 minus 68.06 gives us 31.94. And that's percent of discount. Negative. But you know it's going to be negative. Now, it's not negative here, but it's a decrease. Okay. Taylor purchased a sweat on the website. The original price was $48. It went down by discount, and then it went up by 8%. So hopefully you're getting the little gimmicky here thing to do. $48. If you get a discount of 15%, what does that mean? I still have to pay for how much? I still have to pay for 85% of the value. Right? Done. What's next that's going to happen? I'm going to take that number and I have an 8% fee. So now I have to pay for whatever the product of these two numbers are. Plus, I'm going to add 8% to that. And when you add 8%, it's going to be 1.108% or 1.18. So this is the quick way of doing this. 48 times 0.85 times 1. Come on, 48 times 0.85 times 1.08 gives me, so the price at the register that I'm paid is this. They're not done that. So they're asking, the Taylor sweater was less than the original price, but what percent? Right, there was. So again, the new price is $44.06. The old price was $48. Divide by that. So what was the percentage change? What was the difference in price? So 44.06 minus 48. Enter. Divide that by 48. Your answer is negative 0.08208. I'm going to go a little bit 5 decimal places. If I change that to a decimal, to a percent, it's going to be 8.21%. Right? So it was a decrease of negative 8.21%. It makes sense because the price is lower. Okay. Okay, you own a store. The store's percent of markup is 55%. So you bought a kitchen set from the wholesaler, right? Now you're going to sell it to customers. And you're going to increase the price. You're going to make profits. So you're going to charge 55% more than the price you paid for. So what do your customers pay? So again, I draw it out. You don't have to draw it out. I'm drawing it out because sometimes it's easier for you to see. So 100%. So you bought this for $950. Okay. You're gonna sell it to your customers. When you sell it to your customers, you're gonna obviously raise it up a little bit, 55%. So that is gonna go to 155% of 915. How much are you gonna sell it to your customers for? Well, 915 times 155% of 915, so 1.55, right? Change to a decimal. 115 times 1.55 equals 1,000. Here's your price for your customers. If you want to know what 55% was, you can subtract 1,418, the price you sell to your customer, minus the price that you paid, and that should give you what the 55% increase. Okay. If another way of doing that would have been 915 times 55%. Right? So if you did 915 times 0.55, you get $503.25. So this is how much you're going to make. This is how much your increase is. So you go back, you paid $915 originally, you're going to add to that price $503.25 because that's how much you're going to make in profit. So the customer ends up paying $1,418.25. Okay, so either way you do it, it's up to you. Cho family had a wedding rehearsal dinner. The cost of dinner again, $1,345.28. Ooh, so this is how. Let me write that. Dinner. We have tax and tip. So this one, unfortunately, you have to calculate separately. Let's find out what the tax is. So 1,345 times 0.28 times, and this is my tax. Let me find out what the tax is. Change up the decimal. And 1,345.28 times 0.08875. So just in taxes, we end up paying $119.39. Tip, and again, tip is based on the dinner. So again, same number, 1,345.28 times the tip. It's 19%, or 0.19. So in tip, let's find out how much we're leaving in tip. 1,345.28 times 0.19. 1,345.28 times 0.19. And in tip, we're going to leave $255.60. Then you add those three numbers, and you get your total, 1,345.28 plus 119.39, and then plus 255.60. You get $1,720.27. That would be how much we leave on the table. 14, 13, yeah, 13. Now bought a new record player. The price was $187.99. We bought it on sale with a 90% discount. Okay, so what was the price with tax and nearest cent? Okay, $187.99. And again, if we take a 19% discount, I'm still responsible for how much? 81%, or 0.81. And then after that, I have to pay taxes. So taxes is going to be 100% of what I have to pay plus 3.45%, which takes it to 103.45%. Right? We change that to a decimal, and it's 1.0345. That should give us our total that we pay at the register. 187.99 times our discount, then times our tax that we have to pay, including the price of the record player. Final price is $157.53. 14. Who said love order a meal for a family cost 65? Okay, so again, another tip tax question. Food 65. So let's find out what the tax is on that. So to find just the tax, we're going to multiply 65 times the tax, 0.08225. 65 times 0.08225. And in taxes, we pay $5.35. In tip, that's a tax. And in tip is going to be $65 again, times, what's a tip? 20%, 0.2. That's easy, right? So in tip, 65 cents times 0.2 is going to be $13. So we leave $13 in tip. Add it up. 13 plus 5.35 plus 65. This one is an easy problem. Our total is 83.35. So I guess the main thing here that you have to remember, the tip is not calculated on the food and tax combined. It's just based on the food. That's the right way to do it. Okay. Yeah, some people might say, "Oh, you're cheap. Just calculate the tip on food and taxes." Oh, you can. I'm just saying that I think that the correct way would be just to tip the waiters on the food. Ken buys a table set at IKEA for $247. That includes the New Jersey sales tax, and that's correct. What was the price before tax? Okay, so $247 is the price paid with taxes. Okay, so we want to know what the price was before taxes. So two ways we can do this. New minus old over old. So the percent, I know what the percent is, 6.625. Or let's change that to a decimal, 0.06625. The new price, right, is this, because that's the price with taxes. And we're looking for the original price, which I'm going to use X. So what was the price before taxes? That's what we have. Cross multiply, we get 0.06625x, and the other side is 247 minus x. Let's get rid of one of the x's. We'll do plus x here, plus x here. Remember, there's a coefficient of 1. So we get 1.06625x equals 247. We're going to divide both sides by 1.06625, 1.06625, and x equals 247 minus 247 divided by 1.06625, and we get that the price was $231.65. So that's the price before the taxes were applied. Well, that's one way of doing it. The other way of doing it is that saying 247 is the original price plus a tax is 106.625% of what number? That's another way of thinking. Okay, so because if you do this, if you think about this, here's 0. Let me write 100% here. This is 106%. 625 with the taxes. And I know that is 247, and this is the number I'm looking for. Right? That's the number. So 247 is 106.625 of what number? Change it to an equation. We can write 247 is or equals, change that to a decimal, 1.6066625 of x. Divide both sides, and you start seeing that it looks familiar, exactly what we did before. And x equals whatever that number was, 247 divided by 1.06625 gives us $231.65. So that's the price before taxes. Yeah, so maybe might think This is too easy. Box of laundry detergent is on sale for $5.50. This represents a 40%, 47 discount from the original price. What is the original price? Okay. So let's do it two ways. 47%. We can go right. Okay, percent new minus old over old. So 47%. New price is $5.50. So this one, make sure it's a discount. $5.50. And we're looking for the original, the price before the discount. And I'm not going to write all because it looks like a 0 over x. It'll change. I'm going to change that to decimal. 550 minus x over x. Cross multiply. We get negative 0.47x equals 550 minus x. So if we do plus x on both sides, that goes away. And on this side, I'm left with 0.53x, right? Because there's a 1 here. So when you do in your calculator, you do negative 0.47 plus 1. You get 0.53 equals 550. Divide both sides by 0.53. 550 divided by 0.53 gives us 5.5. So 550. 5.5 divided by 0.53 gives us the original price of $10.38. So the price of the laundry detergent originally was $10.38. With the discount, it's $10, and with the discount came to $5.50. So that's one way of doing it. The other way is thinking about $5.50. So if you take, so again, if you have 100%, and somebody takes 47%, 10, 20, 30, 40, 47%, you're left over with what? 53%. So that's, right, so 550 is 53%, right? Because that's of what number? Right, because if you get a 40% discount, you're left to pay, or you're responsible for 53%, the leftover. So change up an equation, 550 equals 0.53 of what number? Notice that this looks very familiar to that. We're going to divide both sides by 0.53. And we're going to get that x equals $10.38. I don't think it's too easy. I think there's some thought you need to go through for these problems. Okay, and you need to understand. I think the visual helps. Okay, but let's see what you think when you come to class tomorrow. That's it.